What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. I know we've been silent for some time, but it's time for a tier list. Things have changed, some things have not changed. Some people say the meta has grotesquely changed, but we are back with giving you the actual true info about the actual meta picks. So after watching this video, you will understand what is meta, what you can pick up to have like the highest chance of winning, and that is kind of a feels good, no? Anyway, let's start with the Baron lane immediately. For the Baron lane, we still have Aatrox as the most annoying carry champion, and within the S tier we see barely any changes. The only noticeable change here would be Ambassador dropping down into A tier, because the nerfs for Ambassador really hit hard for the Baron lane, but really missed the mark for the jungle. I don't really understand why, and well, it is just what it is, but to be fair, like honestly, I should put Fiora into the highest tier here as well. But let's just name the best champions within the S tier. Like, we have Gwen, we have Fiora, Camille has gotten a lot better as well, Warwick is an absolute demon champion, Jax is pretty nice, Rumble, and outside of that one you have champions that can dominate lane but need to really snowball hard, otherwise they just fall off a cliff, like Renekton, Jace, Riven even, but again, Riven is far better in the jungle department, so I don't recommend picking them there. But if there's one champion that is really toxic, like across the board, it is going to be Varus. Varus is such a demonic existence, even in the Baron lane, that you should definitely take a look at him and enjoy your time by printing LP with this champion. Another champion that is completely grotesque in the tank tier is going to be Poppy. This champion is super unfair and simply just runs over you. It has too much damage, too much versatility in terms of builds. You can go tank, you can build some AD, you are very good into both damage types, it just doesn't matter. The only downside you have is that you get outscaled, but the thing is, if you play correctly, you'll always be so much gold ahead that it doesn't really matter. Plus, you have one of the best ganking setups in the entire game, because you just pin somebody into a wall and they die immediately after. As for the laning phase trading pattern, you throw your buckler, you play around your grasp and your Q, and nothing can really do anything about this one, unless they have champions that can choose not to play. Because even if they don't play and don't have access to minions, they'll be level 1 when you'll be level 3, and then you just dive them solo. Like, it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter. For an example, for champions that can play into her without just getting completely dumpstered, Warwick and Rumble. Even Fiora has really big troubles early game, simply for the fact that she cannot really utilize her kit and she needs AD to do damage. But relatively early into the mid game, things will change and Fiora will have enough damage if she goes full AD to actually kill you. But if you, on the other hand, have enough damage and too much gold for her to have enough AD in comparison to you, you can kill her faster before she kills you. It's like, you know, this kind of game. But if you go into late game, you'll just get one shot. That's just how it goes. And now I want to announce something really cool, like a little tournament, like a 2v2 tournament, and you can win up to 150 euro in a total prize pool, as well as 2 legendary skins. I'll just show you all the things here on screen, like that are relevant. And in order to join, just join the Discord server in the description below, and then follow all the steps, and yeah, that's basically it. Now back to the tier list. For the jungle carry tier, we have Aatrox as the best champion. And now let's list some other champions that are really broken in the jungle department. We have Lily as one of the only AP champions that's playable, Evelynn only if you cheese in a certain way. We have Viego, we have, I mentioned Aatrox, we have Lee Sin, we have kerxx, we have Vi, and Ambassador, the nerf just completely missed the mark, and we have Riven. All the other champions within the S tier are very much playable, but it very much depends on you and the draft you're playing in. And for the future, depending on what nerfs and buffs they do, even champions that are supposedly conditional picks, like Olaf, might turn into champions that are blind pickable, because Riot is having a very funny time with balancing these champions. So again, for approximately 6, 7, I don't know how many seasons in a row for the jungle meta, not much has changed, and the same thing applies to everywhere else. It's just a few champions going up and down depending on what is currently meta. Now if we look into the tank department here, we see one champion that is pretty good into all the AD carries, and is a champion that doesn't have to farm. Most of the time you see Rammus in your games, he's going to haunt you like from start to finish, and the biggest problem with him is literally the fact that the champion doesn't have to farm, and he preys upon the weakness of people not being aware of anything. So he clears free camps, which is most of the time his red side, haha, because of the slow and the bonus damage, and then he just rolls bot lane on cooldown. He doesn't care about farm, he doesn't care about anything, and just keeps on ganking. And the biggest problem here is that this is only punished if the enemy jungle is actually understanding what is happening and does the appropriate things against it, and people pay like a minimum amount of attention to avoid just dying to him. That is just how it goes. I'm sorry. As for the other champions within the S tier, feel free to pick any of them. They're all pretty good, pretty nice, and you can obviously exchange some of the tank tier champions for the carry tier and play them like carry champions like Mordekaiser, like Volibear, like Nunu, Jarvan, and even Poppy and Nautilus can be played. Like even AP Shen is a possible thing. It's pretty fun. You should actually take a look at the ratios. It's pretty cool. And now let's move over to the mid lane tier list. For the mages, we have a few changes here. We have the good old Aurora as the best champion in the mid lane department. She isn't that strong into, for example, Orianna or Syndra for the fact that she has to get close, but the thing is, she functions more like an assassin than just an ordinary mage, and once she gets close, she has so much damage you just get one shot. You can think of her as like a Zoe in that regard. Like, her and Zoe are very alike in the way they deal damage. Like, you see them, you die. That's basically how it goes. And as per usual, S tier is the meta. Everything below S tier is either off meta or weaker, and B tier is something you should stay away from. For the assassin tier, we have Ahri as the highest tiers. Other champions that are very powerful in that regard are going to be Echo and specifically Kassadin. These champions are very toxic in the sense of being able to carry. Other champions like Pyke and Akali are super powerful when it comes to killing, but require a lot more skill to carry games. With them, it's super easy to kill, but it's way harder to carry. Nocturne is a champion that just clears mid lane and tries to apply pressure onto the sides. It's basically the AD version of Echo. You can think of it like this, I think. And champions within the A tier are either better in jungle or you just don't play them at all. For the other tier, we have the resurgence of Yasuo. This champion's insane damage is absolutely unfair, and with the crit item changes from patch 6.2, he's got his foot into the door right now and he's just doing way too much. Another thing that I have to mention, for example, Corki here, because people are always telling like the champion is dead, he got nerfed too much. From my perspective, I don't believe so. It's usually a combination of wrong items and wrong runes. For example, I believe that running Conqueror as well as Gathering Storm and Zombie Ward is super beneficial for Corki because he really desires these high AD ratios, and building a Sense Reaver early is a bait for him. I'd rather have you go for Gluttonous Greaves into BT and then Manamune. With the changes to Manamune, stacks a lot faster than before, which makes it easier for you to just stack a little bit later and allow you to stat check champions earlier thanks to the power of BT and the sustain, since you're going to combine things like Gluttonous Greaves, maybe Bloodline or Alacrity, it depends on what you believe is best for you, and obviously the BT lifesteal. It just makes you so tanky and it's so difficult for the enemy to do anything to you. And Sivir mid lane is pretty nice. Jace has gotten buffed, an absolute domineering pick. And yeah, Varus is a creature. And you see like all the S champions, like the S tier champions, are super cringe to face. Even Nasus, because he can't get bullied out by mages. You'd struggle way more with other champions. And for example, in the A tier, you see champions that are less likely to be played, they're not as powerful, with the exception of maybe Zillion, but you would most of the time just pick Zillion mid to deny the enemy of picking its support, but you obviously still build full AP as you do on support, or at least should. For the B tier, stay away. Like at some point I can basically remove this because it isn't played anymore at all. Now let's talk about the AD carry tier list with the most changes here. Miss Fortune still going super strong, Samira and Draven being absolutely broken still. In duo queue even more, like in duo queue they're like the god tier champions. Xayah has super high damage. Corki, same thing applies to what I said earlier. Ezreal is probably feeling-wise the weakest here since he can't itemize into crits, but however his early game is pretty potent. So if I were to put one champion into A tier, it would most likely going to be Ezreal. But yeah, the best pick here is going to be Varus. You play him AP on hit, you can start with the Berserker Greaves into Nash's Tooth, into an Amplifying Tomb, which then turns you into AP, and then you start one-shotting people. You also have to max your second ability because it had a 35% AP ratio, as well as Nash having 30%. So once you have Runans, every third hit is going to hit the enemy for a decent amount of damage, yeah? Because it's twice the on hit that you normally do, which is insane to me. Another champion that gained popularity here is going to be Ashe. The Qmax crit version of this champion is super potent when it comes to dealing with champions. It's so much damage and so much random potential, especially if paired up with Ghost. And again, all these crit champions are super potent with having Zombie Ward, because every single bit of AD you gain feels so much more stronger on any crit champion. Champions within the A tier are just completely weaker than any other champion. Nyla here, to keep that one in mind, is a conditional pick. Honestly, I should not have her in like this list and have like maybe like a different list, but it makes things too convoluted. Like this is going like supposed to be an easy list, not like 10 tiers. Because if we're truly honest, if you want to win right now, if you want to win like right now, you lock in Varus every single game, then you have Ashe, then you have Corki. If you play duo queue, pick Samira and Draven every single game. It's just how the game functions. You have like super broken picks and everything beneath is so much worse and not as potent that you just never pick it. Like for example, look into the B tier. Why would you pick any of these champions when you can just pick Varus who does everything these champions do just 50 times better? For the mage tier, nothing has changed. We still have the same champions there. No Aurora though, because I don't really... I mean, I could add her here if you truly want to the next cycle. But to be fair, it doesn't really matter because this champion will only be played in mid lane in 99.99999% of the cases. For the support tier, we have the same champions in the engaged tier. Like everything remained the same. What you can argue, you can put Singed into the B tier maybe, but it's more about the fact that you just flip somebody. It's more about the CC application than the actual damage of the CC that make the champions so annoying. For the Protect tier, we have still the same champions in the highest tier that are the most annoying. To be very fair, the best champions in the Protect tier, like by far the best champions, are going to be Zilean, Nami, Milio. Like these champions are by far the best. All the other champions are more conditional, but still very good. Like for example, the Yuumi is one of the most annoying champions if played properly. Braum denies the entire meta in bot lane, and Lulu makes a hyper carry just super strong. And Seraphine adds a lot of damage, shielding, and overall support if built correctly. For the carry tier, we have the new best champion, because Riot thought it's a funny idea to buff one of the best champions already, Senna, because for whatever reason we give this champion even more scaling, and I don't really understand why. This champion has been domineering, it just was gated by players' skill, and now this champion has turned into a problem pick. Like now the very top players, even though we barely have them anymore, like, for example, I lock the champion, I play with a friend, I will just 1v2 lane because this champion does too much damage. Unless the enemy is like top 10 players of current, like the game, I just kill them because this champion does way too much. Like, if you want to actually carry your teammates and are sick of playing with piggies, you should really look into learning Senna and understanding how to carry with her. I'll upload a few videos on my gameplay channel so you can take a good look yourself how it functions. And then it should be just so much easier for you to just get a grasp on how you can actually just completely dominate people with the damage of this champion. And that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and come back for more. Bye bye, take care.